John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show. Gordon Chang of Forbes.com is here, and I recommend Gordon's piece on the BBC website right now on useful American freelance diplomats, such as Bill Richardson, who was, according to the BBC, a former U.S. presidential candidate. He's the governor of New Mexico, a red state turning. And Governor Richardson has a frown on his face as he is surrounded by Korean journalists announcing the results of his private visit. Gordon, why did Richardson do this? What was his opportunity?
You know, he really loves publicity. He likes to see himself on television. And, you know, he would like to be President of the United States or Secretary of State. Now, that's not going to happen because this trip has really been met with a resounding silence in Washington because people realize it was really the wrong thing to do at the wrong time.
So, Bill Richardson was invited to North Korea by the Kim regime because they needed a stooge to demonstrate their goodwill in giving up their bellicose nature and agreeing to all kinds of peaceful gestures, following the Chinese script, in exchange for love, kisses, and cash.
Yeah, and also Jimmy Carter was not available at the time.
Right.
Jimmy Carter did this in 1994 and really set back the entire world with his trip to Pyongyang, where he brokered a deal which the North Koreans dishonored even before the ink went dry. This was the agreed framework. And now Bill Richardson looks like he's doing the same thing. And that's why the South Koreans are upset. And that's why even the Obama administration realizes this was the wrong thing to do.
And Mr. Richardson, you will all recall, was very principal to the then Senator Obama during the campaign when he switched sides from Mrs. Clinton's camp. He was presumed to be in that camp since Bill Clinton, the president, had very much advanced Bill Richardson's ambitions, first at the United Nations and then in other important positions in the Clinton administration, and had moved over to endorse Barack Obama. So perhaps what we're seeing is Bill Richardson's talent to change sides. Well, we'll see in future, Gordon. Let's go to China. China, right now, has failed to police or in any way inhibit North Korea. 2010 was not a good year for the Chinese in North Korea with regard to the WTO, with regard to currency manipulation. It was confronted by a Secretary of the Treasury, Timothy Geithner, making demands on the Chinese that they did not answer. Look ahead for me in 2011. Hu Jintao, the president of China for the moment, is visiting Washington in January in a few weeks' time. What does he want, and what do you see for China in 2011, starting with the state visit?
Well, I think, you know, essentially when Hu Jintao comes for this state visit, and he shouldn't be getting a state visit, but when he comes, I think he's really looking for the pictures, because those pictures are the ones that are going to be beamed across China to show that Hu Jintao is getting the state visit that he thought he should have gotten last time when he visited George W. Bush.
And Hu Jintao, he is within a year of handing over the keys to a successor who is a completely unknown figure in the West, a man, is that how you say his name?
Xi Jinping.
And he is a stooge of stooges, but he'll be the fifth generation. What is the significance about this turnover? What is Hu Jintao worried about?
I think Hu Jintao is probably worried about giving up power. He doesn't want to do it. He's very good at keeping power. At the end of 2012 is the 18th Party Congress, where there is this transfer of leadership from the so-called fourth generation, Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, to the fifth generation led by Xi Jinping. And essentially the real significance of this is that in this run-up to the political transition, China is unable to execute deft diplomacy. Matter of fact, it's just dropping rocks on its feet left, right, and center. And so essentially, China has had a very bad 2010.
Anecdote, Gordon. I was reporting on troubles in Africa. The Southern Sudan referendum is coming January 9th, when the capital of Southern Sudan, Juba, will vote very much to split from Khartoum and Omar al-Bashir, the genocidal regime in Khartoum. Also in Abidjan, the port, the chief city in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, is now in turmoil because President Gbagbo refuses to leave despite the fact that he lost the election. In both instances, I asked, are the Chinese there? Certainly they're in Juba. They're all over Juba, looking for access to the 85% of the Sudanese oil that is controlled in southern Sudan. They're also in Abidjan. They're visiting there, calling on President Gbagbo. This is the Chinese style, right? They don't care about dictatorships. They don't care about depredations. They just simply make, what do they call it, commercial deals with devils?
Sure. I mean, basically they say that they are not interfering into the affairs of any other country. Basically what they're doing is they'll deal with anybody, and they think that when these guys fall, as they will in Sudan and Ivory Coast and elsewhere, that they'll be able to buy off the new guys. Now, they're usually able to do that, but there is a limit to what China has been able to do recently in Africa, and they're running up against the limits of their system.
And we don't have any reason to believe that Wen Jiabao, the premier, or Hu Jintao, the president, believe that they're to be held accountable for their friendship with men who abuse their own people.
Yeah, they've been able to get away with it. What North Korea does present an opportunity for the world to hold both China and North Korea responsible, because this is a clear case of where China is enabling its client state to commit murder.
Gordon Chang of Forbes.com, and I urge you to look at his piece up on the BBC right now about Bill Richardson's visit to the other side. Gordon, and I thank you very much, and I look forward to our meeting again in January, Gordon.
So do I.
To preparing for Hu Jintao's state visit to Washington to visit the Obama administration. What does who want? I'm John Batchelor. This is The John Batchelor Show.